This is kind of a long video, and I really want to commend Diane for the love and dedication that she has for this horse. It does take a lot of guts to get out here and do all the stuff she did today after witnessing a wreck like she did in April. This will actually be the first time that she has ridden Paisley since that wreck. Getting reacquainted with the horse, Diane is going through some of the groundwork exercises, desensitizing, going through things that I have already been working on to keep this mare comfortable and confident and just feeling okay about us handling her and moving everything around on her body. And overall, kind of helping to teach Diane reading her body language. After some desensitizing, we go in and Diane moves her around from the ground, sends her off on the lunge line, and is watching the mare's body and looking for signs of if she is excited, if she's worried, if she's distracted, if she's focused, just different things that give you an idea of what you're going to be dealing with that day at that moment for that ride. And right there was actually pretty nice. We go through and desensitize to the saddle. You would be amazed at how many horses get a saddle thrown on, they can lunge around. But if you move those stirrups from the ground, and that's actually a problem for the horse. So we want to move all of these things around now. I want to see my horse's reactions. We're looking to see if she's worried. We want the explosion to happen right now. We don't want to get on her back and find out that she has an issue with something being on her side. We shake the saddle and you can see how the mare's head kind of rocks back and forth while that's happening. Her neck is relaxed, she's not tense, and she's not worried about any of that. And she flexes nicely. One thing to keep in mind with flexing is your body position. And here in a second you'll see Diane actually move over a little bit. When you're flexing from the side, you want to try to make sure that you're behind where your stirrup is so that your horse has room to put in the effort in his flex. And right there, we're waiting for the mare to put a little bit of slack in the rein. We don't want to have to hold it. We're waiting for her to understand that we want her to actually drop off that halter just a little bit. It doesn't take a whole lot for a release right now. But she needs to come that extra little bit of distance. And if she leans, we just do a real easy take and give. And it's not hard. It just makes it more difficult for her to lean against that halter. It makes it more uncomfortable. So she's more willing to get off that pressure. And whatever we do on one side, we do on the other. Diane has already messed with the stirrup and flapped it around. And you see, she stepped back out of the horse's way so her nose had room to come in there. And there was actually some drama at one point, and during that, I got so focused on helping through it that I did not actually video Diane stepping up onto the horse for the very first time. And I'm a little bit bummed about that. However, we do show some mounting and dismounting at the end, which in a case like this, I do find rather important because we want the horse to not just relate someone being in the saddle to being ridden for a long time, even though she had a short ride today. But we don't want them thinking that just because we get on, we're staying on. And we don't necessarily want them to think that just because we get on, we're going to hop right back off. We don't really want them to know for sure because we want them to wait. This mare always spun to the left when Diane got on and sat down in the saddle. And here Diane is going to start flexing her back and forth a little bit. And we work on that on their back, just like we did on the ground. We just pick up on that rein and we hold it. One thing that's difficult when you're on their back is when they start to turn. Some of them will. She actually does it when we go to the right. We have a tendency to want to grab both reins and stop them. You don't want to stop them. You just want to hold that line kind of against your hip or against the swells. Just anchor it. You don't want to pull harder. And you just wait on the horse. They will stop spinning. They will stop turning, and they will give if you've taught them from the ground like we have. Sometimes they get a little bit confused, and you just have to kind of wait on them to remember what it is that you want. You see her licking and chewing right there. She turned her jaw loose. She relaxed. She was thinking. That was nice. And right here, I'm so happy with this. After the ride, Diane stepped off and brought her over here. And she hops on, kind of moves a little bit, picks up her stirrup again, and steps right back down. And then she rubs her, lets her know just how good she was today. And she's going to step back on, and she is going to rub all over this mare's neck and scratch her and just make her feel really, really good about herself, because she really did a great job today. That's the look on the horse's face that I really like. No matter at what point you're at, I want them at the beginning of the ride and at the end of the ride to have a pleasant expression and to just be happy and comfortable with everything.